Okay, so today I thought I'd hike down into my lower claims. You see I got two rivers that join down here. And we got my northerly section and my easterly section here. Kind of makes it nice for sampling. A guy can triangulate an area, see what's coming off the hillside, track all your rocks and your quartzes. Usually two rivers travel over different bedrock zones, so it kind of helps you up in the bush if you recognize one rock from another. You know, see which direction the old channel was pulling from, which river. You can see I just got down in here. I haven't been down into my lower claims for a while. Of course, as per usual, somebody took the liberty to come down and do some panning, hopefully. Not sluicing in the creek. Well, it's not fair. Something I can't do, why should they? Yeah, it never fails. Every time you come down, there's always a new hole somebody's dug. Yeah, as you can see, we got a nice bedrock zone here. Junction of two rivers, both carrying golds, which makes it interesting for sampling. Okay, here we got a really good example of an old bench in the bank here. About, I don't know, 15-20 feet above the creek. Hey buddy, you go for a swim yet? As you can see, it's definitely an old river. Boulders and everything. Fairly well layered from one side to the other. Nice U-shape in it. It's sitting on a clay, almost sandstone, false bedrock layer. I don't know how well you can see in the river here. All this down here makes a really nice gold trap when this old river here washes down across into the creek. Hey, we're a little farther up the river now. And just basically at the gateway to the canyon here. You know, you can see fairly coarse rocks that aren't that rounded. You know, they're slightly water worn, but you can tell they haven't traveled very far, which is usually a good indication of bedrock in the zone. But here you can see definitely we have bedrock. We have the crumbled bedrock here, and then you got the rounded river rocks up top here slowly sliding down, which tells you that basically the rivers run across here at one time. You know, you got to be careful. Sometimes the glaciers can leave a fairly heavy deposit of rounded rocks. But I've done enough prospecting in this area that I know it's old benches. Yeah? Yeah, if the guy could do some suction dredging, this would be a pretty nice place to do it. See the sheer cliff zone we have in here. Very jagged bedrock zone. With this high cliff wall here, there's only really one place for the golds to go is stack up on this inside corner. You know, which the guy probably should sample all the way up the side of this corner. Okay, there's more of a taper here, and you got a sheer wall. Yeah, right down in there amongst some big boulders just before that gravel bar. Probably be where your bigger golds are. Yeah, nice little spot on the river. Wow, hope you appreciate this little part of the video. My partner's not enjoying this, starting to get up into the canyon here a bit more. But I always thought this was a very beautiful spot of the river. You know, it's pretty hard digging gold out of here with boulders the size of Volkswagens. I'm sure there's something good underneath all this. Well, how'd you enjoy that hike? Yeah, your paws must be getting sore. No food. No food up here. We'll find some gold. Yeah, once I get up to this part of the canyon up here, you know, I like to stop, have a break, clean out a few bedrock cracks. Like I say, pretty brutal little hike to get in here, but quite an interesting spot. One of my favorites on the river. So how well you can see, we've got a couple shear zones in the bedrock. Well, I'd hate to be here when that sucker ever come down. Yeah, a few good bedrock cracks up in here. Nice spot. Have a snack, have a smoke, do a little bit of panning. So I'm up the top end of the canyon here, about as far as I'm going to go today. I don't know how well you can see this. You can tell there's a change in the bedrock. You know, the zones, they just intersect down here. You can see this more of a black shale stone with an iron stone running through it. The reason I like to hike all the way up in here though is because the shales generally are a better gold trap on the bedrock than the granites and stuff. They usually wear smooth, whereas the shale's kind of coarse and jagged. Yeah, like I say, this is as far as I'm going to hike today. I'm probably about 3 miles away from my truck. You know, I got a cold from the kids. Well, so I probably shouldn't even be out here today, but it's hard to say no. And as you can see, here is an old bench sitting right on a nice shale zone here. So I'm going to park my ass here today, do some sampling, maybe find some good golds. Yeah, nice little spot. Take a break before I head back home for the day. Hey, so a little bench here sitting on the shale. Seems to be panning out pretty good. Finding a little bit of gold. Always a good sign. Another X on the map.